Welcome to the virtual learning program. I'm going to bring Zena out in just a second so that way we can make the most of our time. And basically, I want to start showing some leave it with her so that when I scoop her up, I can say leave it if she's being mouthy, or the family can basically, or if she's playing with other dogs, we can start utilizing leave it. But we first have to teach her that cue. And so instead of assuming she knows leave it and just yelling leave it at her when she's doing something naughty, of course, or unwanted, we want to teach her what leave it actually means. So she hasn't eaten dinner yet, so she should be food motivated. And I'm going to bring her out on leash to limit her behavior, to limit where she can go and where she can play. And then we're going to focus on leave it with the food. And I'll show you how I'm doing that. So she doesn't, no stays or anything yet. I'm not going to expect perfection, but I do want her to understand the concept of not going for something. So again, focusing on one concept for just a few short minutes and getting the 4 steps. Get the behavior, cue it, mark it, pay it. So the behavior, my definition is don't go for the food. And you're going to see that I'm going to toss the food out first. She's going to want to go for it, go for it, go for it. And finally, when she decides not to go for it, that's what I'm looking for. Then I can start to cue leave it, and then yes, and then pay. So again, she should be hungry. She's going to be highly food motivated, lots of adrenaline, lots of cortisol, lots of dopamine releasing, and hopefully we're going to get her to leave her food a little bit and play that game, and then I'll reward her with all the rest of her food. But I wanted to show you a little bit of where we're starting, and again, that way we can kind of build off of that in the next couple weeks. Ready? Are you ready? Yeah? Okay. Yes. Good girl. Collar. Good collar. Good collar. Okay. Good job. Say, Zena, off. Yes. Good girl. I had the leash wrapped around my head, lady. I had the leash wrapped around my head. Zena. Good girl. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to step on the leash so that she can't get anywhere with it. And I'm going to show her the food, and I'm actually going to drop it just out of reach. And so that she can't get it. Ideally, she can't get it. She almost got it, I think. She kind of licked at it. And I'm going to wait for her to just back away from it and make the decision not to go for it. And we're just going to wait for her to make that decision because she's got to have choice in it. She's got to have that decision to just leave it alone. And she's never done this before, so this is normal. Good. So that's a little bit calmer behavior. So I say, good, leave it. Yes. Get it. Good girl. Good, get it. So I'm going to always tell her to get it afterwards, but I'm going to say leave it first. She's going to get that yes, and then she can get it. So then we go ahead and we're stepping on the leash, preventing her from going to get the food. Again, trying to keep it shorter. And that way I can do the same thing, different picture, facing different direction, right? Oops. Look. But same thing. I'm just going to let her look at it, let her go through a little bit of this. Oh, I really, really want it. I really, really want it. And then when she makes a decision to back off and actually not go for it, it's hard. We've always done scatter. We've always done louder going for it. So this is a brand new concept for her. But I want to show you how I do it. So when she's a little calmer, like if she backs up a little bit. Good. Good girl. Leave it. Yes. Okay, get it. Good girl. So I gave her the feedback of, a little water bottle fell. I gave her the feedback of when she backed away and the leash was loose again, kind of, again, where she's just neutral. When she's like, I really want it, but I'm not going to lunge for it. Then I went ahead and said, good girl, to tell her that she was doing the right thing, because then she looked up at me and I could say L-E-A-V-E, So we're going to do it again. We're going to kind of get her over here. We're going to step on the leash. Kind of the same concept. I'm going to toss it out there. Oh, I don't know if she saw the food because she saw that. Oh, that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair. There's one freebie by you. But she saw those two, so I'm going to let her practice with those two. I do have kibble mixed with canned food, so they're sticking together. But that's okay. So again, we're just waiting for that concept, that definition of even though it's there and she wants to go for it, it's going to be similar to like if there's a cat in the future, if there's kids around. Good. Kind of get her back to being focused a little bit over here. Leave it. Good girl. Yes. Okay, get it. Good girl. Good girl. She's like, whoa, that's so weird. That's so weird. It's very strange. Does she understand it fully? Not at all. And I'm going to let her get the other stuff too. Not at all. So if I were to say leave it, she wouldn't necessarily understand to leave it yet. But I want her to start getting the concept. So step one, level one of leave it, is basically just starting to get them to understand don't go for it is what actually leave it means. And then if I don't go for it, I hear leave it, and that's yes, and then I get to get it. Eventually, I have different stages of leave it. So when she has better impulse control, I would tell her leave it. I would tell her stay, and I would go get it. So if it's like a chicken wing or something that drops, I could be saying leave it, and then I would go get it and pick it up. But she's a baby. She has no idea. Good girl. Very nice. Ready? Yes. For the eye contact, I can always pay attention, even if we're working on a different concept. Attention is always a good thing. Again, toss it out. Let her go through her motions. Let her go through her frustrations. And then it's good girl. Whoop, someone's probably, I hear somebody walking in the parking lot, so my dogs are sounding off. Thank you. Quiet. Good. Argos, quiet. Thank you. Yes, that's very good quiet, huh? So I don't know what that means, but I'll just sit here. So because we got distracted, I'm going to toss it out again. And she didn't even go for it. Good girl. Leave it. Yes. Okay, Skinner. Good girl. Get it, get it, get it. Get it, get it, get it. Yeah. Very smart. Good girl. Very good. So again, I'm going to kind of change the picture up a little bit. Nice job. I'm going to get her to kind of come over so I can get the leash, right? Ready? Okay, so we're going to toss it out. It's a big chunk. She's like, oh, this stinks. I really want to go for it. So I'm going to slacken the leash just a little bit, and if she stays neutral, which she didn't, she kind of took it. Good. Good. Thank you. I'm going to take that away from you. Good. Leave it. Yes. Okay, get it. Good girl. Good girl. We're going to do it again, kind of a little bit faster this time. Good girl. Just to get her to drop the leash. Leave it. Yes. Get it. Good girl. Good girl. Nicely done. So, kind of same thing. Ready? Oh. I'm going to cover the one I dropped. She didn't quite see. Good. Leave it. Yes. Okay. Good girl. There you go. Nice job. I don't get you covered in canned food. Nice job. And we might do one or two more. Good girl. Oh, oh. Good job. Ready? Okay. Oh. Oh, it's a big chunk. It's a big chunk. Oh, freebie. So I'm going to go here because it slid under my foot. So I'm just going to move it back there. This one's hard, she says. This one's hard. Good. I'm going to give her a little slack. That's good. But I'm kind of waiting for her to look up at me. I just get a little distracted. Oh. Good. Leave it. Yes. Get it. Yay. Good girl. Good job. So again, we're going to do a little bit more of a quick succession. Ready? Oh, it's so hard. That's so hard. Leave it. Yes. Get it. Yeah, that's it. Good girl. Good girl. All right. I might do one more. If she does this one great, she'll get the whole thing. Ready? Good girl. Leave it. Yes. Okay, good girl. Because now, ready? I want to do collar. Oh, what's that? I want to do collar. Good girl. Ready? Let's go eat. Let's go eat. Go kennel. Yes, good kennel. Nice job. Good girl. So hopefully you kind of see, and she went right in her kennel because that's where we eat. But you kind of see how we start. It's short, it's sweet, it's successful. I let her problem solve. I let her think. My programs focus a little bit more on letting them think, letting them problem solve. As long as she's not going crazy in frustration, because I don't want that. She's just showing that she's used to going forward. She's used to getting scatter. And she doesn't quite understand why she can't go forward, but I'm preventing unwanted behavior and preventing her from getting it. And then I can go ahead and say when she backs off and goes, fine, whatever, I guess I shouldn't go forward. Then I can go, oh, that was leave it. Yes, so you can get it. So the more repetitions, the better the habit. And then the better the habit, the more we can add distractions. We can add other dogs. We can add leave it from the cat, leave it from a dropped chicken bone, which we never want her to have, of course, because that can cause her to be really, really sick or have an intestinal perforation and need surgical correction. You know, all things that we don't want are starting with these basic impulse control. So that's how I work with a brand new puppy on Leave It. And hopefully, again, that makes sense, but it kind of shows you another picture, not just an adult dog, but a baby dog, on where to start. And we build from there. So that's intermediate and advanced stuff where we go into each level. So again, happy training.